You can hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for this opportunity. Really appreciate the this event today to be able to pitch to everyone here. So I'm going to start off with introducing you to David Watson. So David Watson here has been using a power wheelchair for many years, but 2 years ago, staff at his long-term care facility were about to take his power wheelchair, his only means of independent mobility, away from him. You see, David drives in a tilted position and often can't see what's around him. And so he was having accidents. Staff felt they had to choose David's autonomy or the safety of everyone in the home. This is not just David's story. 20% of power wheelchair users experience at least one major collision within a year, and 11% of them are hospitalized. Accidents like this can lead to embarrassment and even exclusion from the use of power wheelchairs altogether, even when no other alternative for independent mobility exists. I saw this as a violation of a fundamental human right and co-founded Braze Mobility, where we've created the world's first blind spot sensors. Our product restores dignity and independence back to the user, reduces caregiver burden and stress, decreases property damage, and increases safety not only for the user, but others in the environment as well. So why now? Well, because most cars we drive today have blind spot sensors, which have already been mandated in the automotive industry. Why shouldn't wheelchair users have the same right to peace of mind and safety? Our blind spot sensors can be added to any wheelchair, transforming it into a smart wheelchair. Our system automatically detects obstacles and provides feedback to the user regarding location and proximity through intuitive lights, sounds, and vibrations. And I actually have a demo of it right here. I'm happy to show it off during the Q&A as well. But as you can see, the sensors just fit in my palm, and the visual and auditory feedback come in through here. And we also have vibration pads that can be installed on the wheelchair. My name is Pooja Viswanathan, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Braze Mobility. I have a PhD in assistive technology and robotics, have worked at Honda Research Institute, and have been leading smart wheelchair research and international collaborations for over a decade. My co-founder, Dr. Alex Neolades, is a world leader in technology and aging with over 150 peer-reviewed publications in the field. Terrence Ho has led customer experience strategy at Bombardier and assistive technology companies, and is a family caregiver to his brother who uses the power wheelchair. More recently, we onboarded Alan Boyd, a veteran with over 25 years of experience in the industry who successfully negotiated OEM agreements and has had 2 successful exits to the largest wheelchair manufacturer in the US. We have wheelchair users on our team who drive our innovation forward, pun intended. The mobility aids market is $1.14 billion, and our entrance market is nearly 4 million wheelchair users in North America, up to 91% of whom can benefit from smart wheelchairs, according to researchers at the US Department of Veterans Affairs. We've already filed patents in North America, Europe, and Asia. We have vast connections to clinicians who are the gatekeepers of assistive technology. Our system adapts to the varying abilities of our users at no additional manufacturing cost to us. We also have strong traction with several key stakeholders in this space. We launched commercially last February, and to date, we've generated over $150K in revenue, selling over 150 units, with our largest customer being the US Department of Veterans Affairs. The VA has featured us in their national newsletter. We've sold to 6 VA hospitals and are currently collaborating with 2 of the largest blind rehab centers in the VA and in the US. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the VA in the US, they are the federal government's 2nd largest department after the Department of Defense, with over 2,000 sites serving over 9 million veterans. Despite the VA being the largest potential customer for any medical device company, it's incredibly difficult to break into. And we've done that successfully, largely due to our price point, which is under the VA purchasing threshold, and the strong clinical and research expertise of the founding team. Our price point has also led to success with state funding programs like Medicaid, Office of Vocational Rehab, and third-party commercial insurance. During COVID, we doubled down on digital marketing, virtual demos, and onboarded some of the top independent manufacturers reps with established VA relationships in over 30 states. We also set ourselves up for growth outside the VA by partnering with the largest dealers in the US and Canada, giving us access to over 70% market share and over 700 reps across the country. We have strong gross margins. We've already mastered supply chain and only have a 30-day lead time for manufacturing, which means we can do just-in-time inventory. We're also currently negotiating with a leading wheelchair manufacturer for an OEM agreement, which will increase our revenue by at least 10x. We've also been approached by 2 of their competitors. Now, one of the common questions I get is, why don't these wheelchair manufacturers develop the sensors themselves? Well, the reason is that these manufacturers are very mechanical heavy and have limited R&D funding for software and IoT. So they typically provide technologies like ours through OEMs and eventually acquisition. Later this year, we'll launch our data analytics platform, which will revolutionize wheelchair training, assessment, and provision processes. This platform will dramatically increase our revenue potential with added revenue streams. With our unique proprietary data and machine learning capabilities, healthcare providers will be able to remotely monitor the safety of their clients and make more informed decisions regarding wheelchair training and access. Insurance companies can use our data to better evaluate risks. Manufacturers and distributors can use our data to improve their design and customizations, thus increasing their competitive edge. We've already secured initial customers while still in development, leading clinical researchers in the field who will be providing us feedback on key clinical outcome measures. And as for David, this is him a few months ago, still driving his powered wheelchair. With our blind spot sensors, David has independent mobility and dignity. Staff can support his autonomy without compromising on safety. David's friend and advocate has peace of mind, because at Braze, we believe that mobility is a fundamental human right, not a privilege. So not only is Braze Mobility building products here in Canada, generating revenue and creating jobs, it's also helping change attitudes and policies around accessibility. And that's what we're most proud of. So in summary, we're solving a significant problem that affects millions of wheelchair users. We're the first company globally to provide a practical and affordable solution. And through our developing partnerships, we have the potential to enhance every wheelchair in North America and the world. We have a strong team that's internationally recognized in the area of smart wheelchairs with a proven track record. And we have traction among leading institutions, including the VA in the US. And most importantly, we're passionate about creating a more accessible world. Our mission is to help millions of wheelchair users around the world, navigate boldly, independently, and safely. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Pooja. You blow me away every time I hear your presentation. I mean, I can't even count the times, but really, kudos. And like, I guess everybody can see why we decided to have this event. Like, we gotta lift the lid on this stuff and let people know what's going on out there. So, congratulations, great presentation, Pooja, and congratulations with the progress you've made. And we've watched it as, you've been in TiQuest, I don't know, this is your 3rd or 4th time. So we've watched your progress, and we're proud of you too. Who has a question or suggestion for Pooja? Snita?
Pooja, congratulations on a great presentation. You did a fantastic job of setting up the story, painting the picture of the need with David's story, and then beautifully kind of wrapped it at the end as well. The only piece I'd suggest to add into the story is around the impact. So what percentage are we increasing the visibility by, right? So in an average situation, I know it's going to be different depending on the user, but they're unable to see X percentage of the 360 view, and we're taking it up to whatever that number is, because that would really hit home that value prop.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, and we actually have a paper, a manuscript that's currently under review. So hopefully it'll get published soon, fingers crossed. But we actually have statistics there in an actual study with wheelchair users that actually showed that without our system, people were essentially guessing it was less than 50% detection rates of objects. And with our system, it was over 94%. So huge gains there in visibility.
That's awesome. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Dr. Patel.
So Pooja, also I echo that. Great presentation, really, really well thought out and very well presented. So congratulations. So a couple of points. I think it didn't come clear whether it's a front and rear sensor. You showed rear, but it looks like it's a front sensor as well. I think that sort of needs to be flushed out a little bit more. The other area is potentially looking at what are you doing next. There is a lot more that can be done. I mean, this is a great device, but I think in the auto industry there is this LiDAR which can sense objects coming to you and maybe steer away from objects or whatever. So I don't know, but that might be part of the story that you can tell is that's your future plan, if that is. And I don't know whether that's you're looking at future, but again, just a couple of suggestions there.
Perfect. Yes, that is actually semi-autonomous control is something that we actually do have already working prototypes of. In fact, we're piloting that with some leading institutions to explore different applications, including it as a training tool for people who are learning to drive.
Excellent.
This is wonderful. I love this for many reasons. One, my father actually he fought ALS for almost 5 years. So this affected our family a lot. I love the presentation, great points for what are you doing next. It would be great to just have a taster on what the next 3-6 months, what are the milestones you're heading towards. And also maybe include something about alternative options. Who are your competitors, if any, at this point? That would be another opportunity to position yourself as an advantage with your patents and research and management team. And also, I love what you're doing, so I'll definitely follow up afterwards so we can chat more. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Maybe I'll just round it out by saying I agree. Great presentation. I love the way that you presented the sort of problem statement at the beginning. One other thing I think that would be amazing is if you think about from the perspective of the long-term care home. So what's the cost impact to them? Because if you can imagine, like I'm thinking about wound care, like all of a sudden it's like you're not having these accidents with the wheelchairs and now you're not incurring those costs. And so if there was a way to speak to that, I think it would be really impactful.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, and actually something that we're actively exploring. So we just started looking at assisted living, independent living, and retirement homes as sort of the low-hanging fruit, because there, especially the high-end facilities, residents are paying a significant amount for damage and just for sort of the privilege of being in those homes and being able to drive power wheelchairs. So that's actually something we're exploring, and part of the reason we had an investment from Cabby late last year, and that was one of the reasons we took their investment was also because of their positioning in the continuing care space, and more recently AARP is also we're one of their portfolio companies. So we've really been exploring that whole side of that business model, which we've always known is a big potential.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I think we're out of time, but it was really great. Thanks. You did a great job. It was a great kickoff presentation for this evening's event. So Pooja, you're welcome to stay and listen to the other presentations, or